Sydney Fizzard for Rebel News, along with
Lise, Merle.
And I think this is a bit of a Western conservative take on the event that we've seen behind us. There's a grievance in the air that I think a lot of these people are wearing rose-colored glasses, and they're not seeing what time it is. It seems like there's a Western dismay at this event. A lot of the people here, delegates for the Conservative Party of Canada, they flew in from across the country, so most of this room isn't Albertan, despite the fact that they're holding it in Calgary to give that perception. Do you feel like they're doing a good job of exemplifying or of delivering on Western conservative values?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
I'm not sure we're delivering any conservative values, to be completely honest. What was this motion that was just struck down? Tell me what just happened here.
Well, it seems like they went against parental rights.
Repeat that for me again, just so I get it clear.
They may be going against parental rights. And you actually, obviously, you wrote a book about the transgender issues in your own way. So, how did we get to this point? What is this contention here?
Well, I don't understand how we are still describing this issue as contentious or somehow divisive. It is absolutely not divisive for conservatives to conserve things like childhood, like families, like the well-being of our communities. We know that transitioning children has disastrous consequences, whether it be social or medical transition, and the Conservative Party of Canada membership just voted against giving rights to parents to know what's happening to their children and to have a say of what's going on in their lives. What the hell has happened here, Sid?
Yeah. And I do want to make a distinction, though, is that there are a lot of great Conservative members of Parliament, but they've subscribed themselves to the Federal Conservative Party of Canada, which seems to be dropping the bag here. And maybe I could just say, the last time the Federal Conservative Party of Canada won an election was 2011. They lost in 2015, but it's been over 15 years since this party has been able to pull a win. And, I got to say, in the hallways there, I found some of the promotional material for the event. And you can see here, this is the Conservative Leadership Foundation, Learn to Win. That's what they're saying. It's been 15 years. You think, are we still at that point? And the reason why I guess you could say I'm grieved is because it's not that anything that they've said at this event is particularly bad. It's the things that haven't been said, especially coming from Alberta, with the independence movement skyrocketing. I was just at the event. In the building I can see out the window, they had over 4,000 people in attendance. This room's got a capacity of around 2,300. And now, look, there is the difference in the fact that was a free event.
Yes.
This is a paid-for event.
I don't know if this event went off the way that they were planning.
Yeah, well, and to bring it back to the separation, obviously there was the huge independence event. This could be the last chance the Federal Conservative Party of Canada ever has to do an event like this in Alberta. If it goes, the way the independence-minded people want, there is going to be a referendum in the fall. Alberta will decide whether or not they want to stay in Canada's Confederation. And I guess my question to the Conservatives is, do they feel like they did enough to win the Alberta vote? Because even if independence fails, there's going to be a massive schism in the Conservative movement between the Laurentian Conservatives, the Ontario Conservatives, and the Western Conservatives.
Absolutely.
And they're not adequately handling the situation. They're trying to brush it under the rug, and I think that's going to come back to bite them hard.
Oh, it is, because we haven't defined what we are conserving. I think that's a really legitimate question to ask the Conservative Party of Canada. What have you conserved? Well, even in opposition, even fighting the Liberals, what have you conserved? Because it just feels to me like we've just taken a slow drift to the left. The CBC is loving this. They love seeing the Conservative Party go down in flames.
And let me bring it back to the point there that there are great members of Parliament in the Conservative Party of Canada. Like we saw Aaron Gunn. Aaron Gunn, he had a very inspirational dialogue with one of our interviewees. And it was good. It was great. He was bringing that Canadian heritage, in a sense, back to the forefront. The spirit. Exactly. Yes. Pierre shed a tear over his daughter being able to speak for the first time. Good on him. I'm glad. Yeah. But is that the limits of the emotion here when the country's in decay?
Is that it?
Is that it? I mean, where's the pipeline, right? You want to address, introduce this Sovereignty Act, to talk about how we need to make ourselves better, but you're not going to specifically address the independence-minded conservatives. And the reason that's important is because of the overlap. When I was at that event, I would talk to people that said they are conservative. They are federal conservatives, but they don't have any hope anymore.
Yes.
So they're putting their eggs in the independence movement.
Yes.
These are the same people at the UCP AGM. The independence movement has a huge overlap with both the provincial and the federal conservatives.
Without question.
But they're at a point now where it's been 10 years, 11 years now of the federal Liberal Party.
Losing.
15 years since the conservatives have been able to win an election.
Yes.
Where's the hope?
Yes. Well, it's I don't have much here, Sid. I don't have much here. If anything, this weekend, and I came into this weekend just thinking, this is going to be a real telling moment for conservatism in Canada. And I'm putting all my eggs in the separation basket. We can't fix this broken mess. The Liberals have stacked it against us for too long. There is no way to vote ourselves out. There is no way to advocate on behalf of our families and what we need. And this just feels like a dying star.
Yeah. Amen. Well, that's been our Western perspective for you from Lise and myself, from representing Saskatchewan and Alberta. Hope you liked what we had to say. Let us know in the comments, what do you think is next for the conservative movement? Is a schism on the way between Western conservatives and Laurentian conservatives? Let us know in the comments. For Rebel News, I'm Sydney Fizzard.